Previously, I once suffered from depression. And I learned that nobody can understand this unless they go through this. The same applies to disabilities. And as a Korean Canadian, I realized disability awareness in Korea can be improved. So even though I don't have disabilities, I decided to cross 800 kilometers of Santiago pilgrimage on a wheelchair. Mud was one of my least favorites. When it's wet after rain like this, it's really tough. Really. On this day, I went through rocks, mud, and rain all together. My body was getting pretty sore. And since it was almost lunchtime, we decided to stop at a bar to get food. It was quite difficult to go down through this ramp because of the rain. At this bar, I met Nita and In, who are from New Zealand.
You're going to do the whole way.
Oh yeah, all the way to Santiago.
Can I ask why?
So, this is my personal campaign.
Yep.
And they deeply sympathize with my project. So it's basically shoulders and chest and butt.
Yes.
Yeah, it's killing me right now. I need to get some takes on my butt.
So, oh yeah, because you're sitting on your butt the whole time.
For like
yes.
8 hours straight.
Eight
Yeah.
hours.
More like my vision actually, because I really want to do something good to my society, and this is my very first project, and so that I can raise awareness about disability. This is my goal for now.
Wow. Well done.
Thank you. They also gave me this little gift. What is this? Oh, it's a kiwi. Oh, they're from New Zealand, right? Oh, wow. Look at this
A
kitty.
kiwi badge that I pin on my back for my whole journey. I had to give her a hug.
Ah, thank you very much.
It's very interesting that sometimes such small things can spark an emotional intimacy among people. It could be a little word, a little smile, or a little anything.
Gold kiwi.
After this encouraging moment, we kept moving to Pamplona. One of the hassles I had was this, a narrow path, which is completely fine for people walking, but not for the ones on a wheelchair. The space wasn't that enough for my right hand, and I had to move by pushing the wall like this. About an hour before we got to Pamplona, I asked this beautiful Spanish lady for a direction. She was very kind. She even did this supporting gesture with me.
Joey, fighting!
Oh, by the way, the truth is, I knew where to go. I just wanted to talk to her. So, some people ask me, since it is difficult to go uphill, wouldn't it be easier to go downhill? Well, not necessarily. When downhill, I have to grab my handles as hard as possible. Not only that, it's much harder to control the direction. And of course, this tires both of my hands very much. So, this is what Pamplona looks like. I was very excited because it is one of the big cities, and Jang and I decided that we would take one day off and rest at every big city. And we arrived at a albergue we wanted to stay.
Finally, we're at the Pamplona, which is one of the biggest city at Santiago. So we went through so many things together. But we did it. We made it together, Jang. That's it. That's all I would say.
By the way, one of the wheels got bent a bit when we went through the rocks. This gentleman tried to help, but it didn't work.
We just hoped the wheel would last till we arrive at Caceres, where my second wheelchair is waiting for us. After that, we went to the cathedral, but we didn't stay inside too long. When I was just wandering around, I talked to a man. Soon later, his entire family came. They were locals living in Pamplona, and he had 6 children. We talked for a long time. I asked them if I could get my wheel fixed at any shop. They said no because it was Sunday. In Spain, everything is closed on Sundays. For pilgrims, it's very important to remember that when we need something, we need to get it by Saturday. I really like their youngest child, Carlos. He looks super shy. So we are done with Pamplona, and now we're going to the village called Puente la Reina. And on the way, we're gonna see the Hill of Forgiveness, which is one of the most spectacular scenes in Spain. So we're very excited. The way to Puente la Reina was 25 kilometers in distance. It was about the average we did every day. But the problem was, even though we were used to being on the road with cars, it was just too much of it that day. Jang even got a headache from the exhaust gas. Then, we saw a highway entrance and realized it'd be faster if we go that way. Puente la Reina. This way. And we took the highway. Two minutes on the highway, we got pulled over by police. It turned out a driver passing by called police. So the police said, we need to get out of the highway immediately, and they had to give us a ride. But because their car didn't have enough space, they had to get me and a wheelchair and come back to get Jang.
You wait here.
Okay.
And then come back and go here. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
I got it.
Okay.
So I went to the Hill of Forgiveness first and waited for Jang. When the police came back with Jang, they said we had to get fined for 40 euro by law. It was worse than it sounded because 40 euro was almost a daily expense for me. Even worse, they said I could either pay 40 euro on spot or 100 euro later. I was sad because I didn't have cash then, meaning I had to pay 100 euro.
Okay.
And guess what? My first Camino miracle happened.
And I don't have any money right now. And I explained what happened to these ladies. And guess what? These two beautiful ladies gave this money in case I get fined so that I can pay the fine. Isn't it so lovely? Oh my god. Thanks so much. Oh, it means a lot. It means a lot. Thank you very, very much. You are so lovely and amazing.
So are you. So
Thank you very
it's
much.
lovely.
I called him two angels. Once again, I'd like to say thank you very much.
Thank you. You're shy. Okay?
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
So, this is how the Hill of Forgiveness looks like, one of the most famous sites in Camino pilgrimage. I was told those sculptures are dedicated to pilgrims who have walked the Camino before us, and it was established in 1996.
Are you getting finished with this?
On the way downhill, I thought of two angels I met. If I was asked to pay money to help a stranger yesterday, honestly, I would have said no. But after I met two angels and received their helpless help, now I would at least want to consider ways to help. Maybe the key to making a better society would be giving out hands first. It is not only beneficial for the ones who receive, but also creates a cycle of helping. When all of us do that, what kind of society would we live in? Is it possible? One thing I'm certain is, it all starts from us, you and I.